Hey guys, this is False Bulls 123, and this is day 85 of my daily quarantine vlogging challenge. So, for those who aren't aware, I'm doing this every day, and today I'm going to be showing you my agricultural district in my Minecraft world. So, right here we have sort of several mobs that I've created pins for, essentially. Also, I do apologize, my game is a little laggy, just with, the complexity, I guess, with it and all that. Don't have the best graphics card. So, this is my chicken coop. It's made, most of the stuff here is made out of acacia. And we get onto one of the first houses. This is probably the most basic one I have. I don't quite love the design in it. But let's take a look inside and see what we have here. Mostly just a bed, a couple paintings, some, I guess, tree bush things, and you're good. Over here we have our rabbit hutch, and I specifically made this wall around it just because the rabbits love to get out. They jump, And so let's just take a little look inside and see how, they live their best lives. Got a hutch right there. You got, a little well that they like to try to drown themselves in. And, yeah. So, always important to, shut the doors afterwards. So, to the side here, we have our classical, I guess, pig pen. The pigs hate stepping in the actual mud. Probably because none of it is actually mud. It's a mixture of soul sand, mycelium, and I believe coarse dirt. And so, maybe there's something about, their pathfinding thing that doesn't quite work for them. Here, also, every single house that you see here has some sort of, roleplay aspect for the characters. This villager takes care of, the chicken coops and, the rabbits. And this is the home of, the pig farmer guy. So, I wanted to give it a sort of mod feel with just sort of, the style of the house. It kind of inspired me. And so, I kind of wanted to, feel a little bit disco-y, So, you have this, cutesy little, fish tank here. Very snazzy. Got a jukebox. And I use these honey blocks as sort of a, poo for Ottoman style, design. Moving into the bedroom, you can definitely see that this guy likes purple. Which, I can't remember if I actually ever put a villager in this room, but who knows. So you got records on the wall, you got some paintings, and I'm not the best interior design, but I feel like it works. For me, I like, design to be somewhat functional rather than aesthetical, and so I'm trying to make all of my buildings to be human-sized. To be in scale with, some place that you could actually, walk around in. So, moving on, we're just taking a leisurely stroll through. You get to see the farm area right here. Also, this section, just, right between, it's just some overgrown grass to give it, kind of a little just nice style. So, as you can see, a bunch of different crops. Also, you can just see the, open market there at the edge of the area. And so let's see, beets, potatoes. Oh, I guess the first one was carrots, wasn't it? And we step on to sort of the back end of the agricultural sector. So right here we have the farmhouse, which is probably one of the largest houses I have. And then the barn, which I actually really love. It is very imposing. It's technically 3 stories, but I just really enjoy just how well it came out. Because I've never really made a barn before. And so, we have our stables here. And let's just take a look in one of them. Hello there, you're looking gorgeous today. And you're and so that's one of the larger stables. We also have a smaller stable design in the same barn, which you can see is much smaller, but has full of the same aspects. And the horses like to just stare at you from their watering holes. Behind here we have just kind of a little storeroom, which I'm trying to go into, but I think my character is stuck. So we're just going to wait a minute for the game to catch up with my terrible flailing. Ah, there we go. Oh, come on. Yeah, so as we can see, barrels and just some nice cake. The cake is never a lie in, like, my world, because... Oh! Guess there's a villager in there now. Oopsie daisy. Should I kill him? I don't know. We just got an extra villager. Well, there's plenty of beds. I guess he can just be a stagehand or something. Farmhand, there we go. So this is just sort of a kind of loft area. I like to have everything be realistic, but I just had all this extra space, and so I wasn't really sure what to do with it. So I just threw some decorations down. Hopefully it looks good. And we get into the hayloft, actually. So, as you can see, we used some sort of, I believe this was stone brick stairs that I used. We got some, hopefully realistic hay, mounds. And one of the other interesting things is that some people used to keep ice, in haylofts, I believe correctly. Or they used to keep ice, between layers of hay. And so, I just had a fun little replicant there. Another thing is that, I just fell to my death. But not really, because I'm in creative. Another aspect was that most people would, they'd have some sort of crane or pulley to actually pull those into the loft itself. And so that's what's represented here. Also, obviously in real life, you wouldn't want to put a bunch of lanterns, kerosene lanterns, right next to flammable hay bales, but this is Minecraft, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. So, let's move over to the farmhouse, which, if you notice, the ceiling above this is Haint Blue, and that's an old Southern custom, which basically they're afraid of ghosts, or some sort of equivalent. Oh, I hate that sound. Or some sort of equivalent, basically, invading their houses, and so it's a belief that if you painted your roof blue, the ghost would be like, oh, that's the sky, and just go, yoink, up, towards the ceiling. So, as you can see, I'm not the best with interiors, but we do have another fanciful little, fish tank. I do love those. A few paintings, and then my attempt at a fridge. Which, for all intents and purposes, it works. And there we go. I don't quite love my interior design for this, but I tried my best. We have sort of a library style, bedroom. And it would probably be better if there just wasn't a gaping hole in the floor. And I thought about, having, I guess, a railing for it. But then it would take up even more, real estate. And I just decided against it. One of the nice things, though, is that you do get a really nice, you get a somewhat nice balcony level. And so if you jump a little, you can actually see, I guess, your neighborhood. So, let's look at a few of our neighbors. Basically, as you can see, this goes all the way down the street. So this is what I would call the farrier's house. Basically, the person that, takes care of the horses in the barn over there. And you might notice that I use a different sort of color for many of the buildings as a sort of theme. This one was green. Here is a just giant kitchen area. He has 3 smokers. He must really love cooking. Oh, here he is himself right there. And he's just like, hey, yo, what up? This is the bedroom. It's a bit hectic design-wise, but, I just started, building interior. This was one of the first houses I built in the area, so, it's going to use some work. And I know, you're right, why didn't you just, go up the back stairs? But I kind of wanted to show you the house before I showed you the yard. And, well, I really wish that, my computer would actually let me fall down. So this is the Beekeepers House, which I didn't really have anything distinct ideas for, the design. I just kind of wanted to make something that was a bit more unique. And so, you step up. This is actually a raised house. And you get to look at just this sort of interesting design. You got your bed over here. You got, I guess, just all of your equipment that you might need over there in that accessible wall. And then we have a central fish tank once again as just like, a decor piece. And I actually really love that. This is probably one of my most favorite houses I built in the area just because of how unique it is. And you also get like a little porch patio area just on the side. So I thought it was pretty fun of a house. Then you come out here, you have this, oh, I just fell off my own building. You have this sort of fish pond, which is, you can actually like look down from the patio and see it. And that leads to the backyard. Here is just some sort of like kind of fountain area using the honey blocks because I wanted to experiment with them because they were a new block and I guess, what is this, 116? And we go over to the beekeeping area. So this is that was the beekeeper's house, and so essentially this is where he grows like, his honey. So you got a bunch of beehives, and I don't believe I can actually access the honey. No, I cannot. I'm going to try again. Yeah, no. Or at least I don't know how to. Actually, let me try one thing, fam. If the game will let me. Yeah. Because I like the idea of bees, and I love making this up, and I know that like bees don't really care what style of flowers there is, but I like to sort of have this sort of role play aspect in games where, even if it doesn't really matter, like I like to pretend like the game like it's the real world, and like how would I make something like that in? Okay. Oh, guess the bees are angry at me for stealing the honey. But now I know how to harvest honey, so that's good. So we're going to go back over, and this time I'm just going to take a little shortcut like between the houses, if I can get my mouse to settle. There we go. And we'll take a look at what I call the herbalist's house. And so basically it was just a place to grow all of the dyes, like equipment. So there he is. He just came out of his house. That's pretty chill. And so, let's see, we got this big sort of item frame wall full of like, weird things. And once again, a much smaller house. Some of the houses are bigger, some of them are smaller, and that's just for fun. And I love the idea of vines on it, but they're also a little obnoxious. So I like to always clear them out when I come in. And so, very minimal style house. Not every house has to be completely perfect, And if I can manage to get out of there without, like, him being in my way. So, we have a bunch of different flowers. All of these are used for, let's see, like, different dyes. And that's intentional. And we have this, like, sort of overgrown yard, which I just really love. I wanted to make a garden-style yard, We also have this sort of water area that you've noticed. And there's supposed to be squid in here. But for some reason, the squid always jump out of the water and, like, die because, they jumped out of the water and they suffocated the squid. And so I haven't really managed to keep it, like, populated with squid. You also may have noticed, like, this little outbuilding, and so we'll see what's in here once my computer stops lagging. Done. And this is essentially a little mushroom farm. We got some mycelium, we got your mushrooms, and I just love the idea of, like, that being some sort of, like, mushroom cellar. You may also notice that I do have an affinity for water elevators. I think water elevators are probably one of the most effective elevators you can have, and I just love them. While we're in the area, we might as well stop and show you the greenhouse. This is just a reflecting pool. It's not necessary. There's, like, really no reason for it, but I just wanted something to, like, kind of take up the space. And we'll get into the greenhouse. So there wasn't really anything that you have to grow in a greenhouse. Like, you can grow, like, all of your crops just in regular, like, stuff, but I felt like, having something in the, like, building a greenhouse. It was fun. Now, I don't quite love like, this texture packs version of it. But I was looking through the area in Mizuno's 16-bit, which is outdated, and they had a really great. They have this more 3D style for the vines, and it just had the perfect graphics for it. Maybe one of these days I'll actually take some pictures with Mizuno's, but I prefer just standard Minecraft texture packs for a lot of the area, because you get that brightness with it. And with some of the more realistic styles, it can be a bit more drab or toned down. And so I like the amount of color that you have in the world. So we're going to take a look at the woodcutter's log cabin next, and then we'll start making our way, down the path. So this is a log cabin. I think this is the second log cabin I've ever made, and I like the decor for it. I think it's pretty well done. It's nothing too fancy, but it's got some stuff in here, and it's not asking for too much. It's fluid. It's it takes up the amount of space it needs to take up, and I'm happy with it. My second just not be able to walk out the door, and yeah. I also enjoy how the flower boxes turned out. I thought they came out pretty well. And over here is just sort of a log stump with an axe in it. It's the best I could really do with the Minecraft style. And so let us also take a look at what I think is kind of a little trippy bit of a room. So, obviously, a little intense with the patterning, but this is basically, let me just throw away iron trap door. That sounds good. And show you how it works. Oh, come on. Okay, let's try that again. Basically, each one of these, dispensers has a bunch of planks of the various types in it, and it's pretty much just his wood pile. Yeah. And you're like, okay, Ryan, what's this thing over here? This is my tree farm. And I absolutely really, really love how it came out. So if you've met me, if you've played Minecraft with me, you might know that I tend to be very opulescent when it comes to, builds. I like to have a lot of just pattern on pattern on pattern, and just make some really intense stuff. So the tree farm is just this huge area. It has every tree imaginable, including super trees. So we have the spruce and we have the jungle over here, and so it's basically just a tree farm that can be replanted and all that stuff. You may also notice, and this was completely unnecessary, I could have literally just had slate down there or something, but the entire, floor is patterned, which took me a while to do, because there's actually 3 different styles, there's 3 different pieces of, types of wood on, the floor itself, and so you can definitely see that I tend to be a bit opulescent with a lot of my design. And that's just how I like to do it. I love to have decoration on every single piece because it's fun. So moving up, here is another one of the more interesting style houses. The ground around here had this sort of octagonal shape, and so I definitely want to, play with that a bit. This is also probably the most, minimal of my interior designs, but there's not that much real estate that I could have done with it. And so I just decided for more cutesy styles than anything more realistic. Because a lot of these none of my houses have bathrooms or things like that. And so I went for symmetry. Basically, you got a bed, you got this sort of little nook area with bookshelves and plants. And then you have a water elevator leading to just a sort of antechamber room. Also, you can notice that we just have, some pens for cows and mushrooms, and they just mill around doing what the fuck they want. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much, as far as I can remember, everything that is in my agricultural sector. I don't think I'll ever really, I guess, build. This area is pretty much complete. Maybe I'll put like some tulips like over in this area by the tree farm just to like decorate that space. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. You got pretty much all the mods that you would need, and so I enjoy it. Since we're here, I'm just going to give you a quick sort of teaser about the rest of the area and sort of my plans for development, and we'll go from there. So, as you can see, we have a big empty space, just this big old square between the fountain and the agricultural sector. I'm thinking about doing some sort of outpost here with, alpacas, just because the only mounts I have are horses, and I think, general store or sort of traveler's outpost would be a really fun idea. But I'm still trying to, figure out how I want to, block that out. Then over here, we're going to be what's called the civil the civil area. And so there's going to be a lot of civil buildings. So we have a schoolhouse, library, post office. This is going to be the expanded church, and I'm thinking some sort of mayoral area in this section. Just tear down these buildings, build it up, maybe do a small garden. I'm not really quite sure. So here is just some sort of fortress style thing, and I'll show you that later. Really small cemetery, and what's called the open market, which I'm actually pretty proud of how that turned out. And as you can see, here we have a man-made lake, which I still need to finish up. So this area is going to be, I guess, some sort of food market. You'll have butcher, baker, that style of thing. Let's see, I'm thinking probably an industrial sector in this area around the lake. And then over here, it's going to take a second. We have this little dip. I'm probably going to clear this out. Maybe have some sort of small, I guess, either residential or maybe even sort of a magical area with just people selling sort of weird things. And then this area right here, this sort of, I guess, I'm going to flatten this up and actually make some sort of hotel. And I'm just does there need to be a hotel there? And I'm just it really doesn't, but I kind of love the idea of just this very opulent, huge hotel that overlooks, the town. Because, it's all, pretty small, but given the scope and the style of buildings that I'm building, I think that I can afford to, sort of up this out. Because it's not necessarily medieval, or I guess even sort of Western, and so I think that I can afford to, have more modern style buildings in as well. I think, the biggest clincher is that I do have a very, I guess, modern style looking post office, which that was probably the hardest, one to do conceptually, just because how exactly do you sort of represent a post office, but I like it. So I'm going to shut up about that now and allow us to just sort of gaze over the agricultural sector just for the thumbnail, tee-hee, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed sort of just walking around this Minecraft world with me, showing you sort of a bit of my artistic style, and I hope that you can just hopefully you appreciate what I had to show for you today, all the little details and stuff. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. Any tips or tricks for Minecraft building, because this is probably one of my. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot to show you one building, which completely sucks. So before we go, a little mini teaser. I'll show you the I'm going to show you the Shepherd's building, which is one of my favorites actually in design. So this is the only one that actually has a fireplace. And you can let me know if that fireplace is at all good. Here is the room. This is the shepherd. He's, I don't actually know, I don't know what the outfits are exactly. So here is an outdated map. So you can see here, this was put up right when I had just had the agricultural sector. So none of the buildings that you saw earlier are there. And I like to do that just because I like to have sort of snapshots of my building process. Library area, and this will go up towards the storeroom. So the attic is basically just a giant storage area. So there we go. That was just, and like, we got a sheep pen over there. So, like I said before, guys, I really hope that you enjoy sort of looking at my agricultural sector. If you enjoy, like, kind of seeing, like, my thought process in building, and, like, tell me down below any tips or tricks you have for playing Minecraft, because I love Minecraft. I love playing it. Like, to this day, I still play Minecraft so much, and I have a lot of fun with it. I'm definitely glad to see how much, I guess, progress I've made building-wise from, like, when I was, like, first playing this when I was a kid. Because I think one of my first structures I ever made was a 30-story tall tower, right? And each floor was made from a different material. So you literally just had these identical rooms, and they were filled with, like, and each one was made out of, like, something different. Like, one was melon, another one was TNT, another one was, like, literally glass panes, so if you weren't careful, you would literally fall through the floor, and it was an interesting experience, to say the least. And I was just kind of having fun playing with, like, the different, like, pieces. That actually might be a kind of fun, like, idea sometime in the future, just playing around with, like, sort of a giant complex of identical rooms, each made out of different material. But, that is a story for, like, another time. Or an idea for another time, rather. So, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and if not, don't know what to tell you. This is False Bulls 1, 2, 3, and I'm signing out.